In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a slump mold or a hump mold. One is just the reverse of the other. I've rolled out a slab, and if you're not sure how to do that, please see my video on rolling out a slab. And I have this plate that I'm going to use to form this clay into a plate shape. The slab starts out a little larger than the plate, and I'm pressing it in and gently stretching it to match the shape of the plate. If I wanted to put a texture on this surface, I would have done it when it was a flat slab. That's the easiest time to do that. We call the plate under the slab a slump mold. That means that the clay slab slumps into the form. If we had turned the plate over and draped the clay slab over the plate, we would call it a hump mold, meaning that the clay slab is draped over the form rather than pressed into the form. The idea behind using a mold is to shape the clay and keep it in position while it dries enough to hold its own shape. As you can see, I am trimming off the excess clay from around the plate. I can trim, I can clean, I can do all sorts of things on the top of this plate while it's in the mold. Since it's a slump mold, once I get it set in there, I can't work on the bottom of it until it's ready to come out. That's why if there are any textures that I wanted to put on this plate, I would normally do it as a nice clean flat slab. Right now I can push it back and forth a bit, and then when I start cleaning things up, it's probably going to stay stuck to the mold for a little while. When the plate is eventually fully dry, it will pop right off. Until then, I usually leave it on the mold so that it will hold its shape and not crack prematurely. In fact, the whole idea of the mold is to give it support while it's weak. You can see that the edge of this is a little bit chunky. I'm smoothing it out with a brush and some water and getting it nice and neat around the edges. The more I do, the nicer it will look. And I'm trimming off little bits and pieces so that I can get it rounder and rounder and rounder. It normally takes about 10 to 15 minutes of concerted work to get a nice, neat, rounded plate on a simple form like this. As I mentioned before, if you want to have a texture across the surface, I usually find it easiest if I roll it directly into the flat slab when I'm making it. Once I have a plate shape just like I want it, then I can start adding relief sculpture to the front. But that's a task for you to do, not for me to do on this project.